Sources are telling the New York Times that after the presidential election this year, Mark Zuckerberg himself agreed to temporarily tweak Facebook's algorithm to make authoritative news sources appear more prominently in people's news feeds. Quote, in the tense days after the presidential election, a team of Facebook employees presented the chief executive, Mark Zuckerberg, with an alarming finding. Election-related misinformation was going viral on the site. President Trump was already casting the election as rigged, and stories from right-wing media outlets with false and misleading claims about discarded ballots, miscounted votes, and skewed tallies were among the most popular news stories on the platform. In response, the employees proposed an emergency change to the site's newsfeed algorithm, which helps determine what more than 2 billion people see every day. It involved emphasizing the importance of what Facebook calls, quote, news ecosystem quality scores, or NEQ, a secret internal ranking it assigns to news publishers based on signals about the quality of their journalism. Typically, NEQ scores play a minor role in determining what appears on users' feeds, but several days after the election, Mr. Zuckerberg agreed to increase the weight that Facebook's algorithm gave to NEQ scores to make sure authoritative news appeared more prominently, said 3 people with knowledge of the decision who were not authorized to discuss internal deliberations. The change was part of the break glass plans Facebook had spent months developing for the aftermath of a contested election. It resulted in a spike in visibility for big mainstream publishers like CNN, the New York Times, and NPR, while posts from highly engaged hyper-partisan pages such as Breitbart and Occupy Democrats became less visible, the employees said. It was a vision of what a calmer, less divisive Facebook might look like. Some employees argued the change should become permanent, even if it was unclear how that might affect the amount of time people spent on Facebook. In an employee meeting the week after the election, workers asked whether the nicer news feed could stay, said 2 people who attended, end quote. So I guess this is just more fuel to conservative claims that tech platforms silence them, except doesn't that also indicate that Facebook at least normally favors conservative voices and in just this one instance merely turned down the dial a bit? But that's not why I'm sharing this, because I don't have an opinion on that debate. I'm sharing this because if this is true, it underlines something that Facebook critics have long leveled at the company. Facebook does have the ability to adjust what gets amplified. There is a dial they can turn, which makes you wonder, if they can turn the temperature down a bit here and there every so often, why don't they turn the temperature down all the time? In other words, if Facebook is choosing engagement because it's more profitable for them, then doesn't it logically also follow that they are choosing divisiveness because it's more profitable for them? And at the bottom of that logic chain is, again, the conclusion that that is a choice. When Facebook throws their hands up and claims the problems are too massive on their platform to solve, that they really can't design their products to be less divisive at scale, that's nothing more than a convenient dodge.